All right. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. We have our next guest with us today. A lot of you people in this town know Miss Susan Hyder. We'll get you there on the camera. Susan, you want to tell everybody hello? There's your camera right there.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah. So,
Good?
yeah, Susan is owner, proprietor, everybody that's in charge of keeping all those wheels turning over at Hyder Hangout, Quilt Fabrics and More.
Right.
And she's going to do another segment for us today. And today was a surprise segment, so we're interested to know what that is. So you want to get right into it?
Yes.
Okay.
What we're doing is we are showing you how to make a pillowcase. That's one of the easiest things. If you just sew a straight line, you can do it. And this particular one is a pretty neat little one.
So it's a good entry-level project.
Right. A lot of beginning sewers, like the teens or the kids, will make a pillowcase. The great thing about it is you can do themes and do people who have sports. You can do the trim. The trim, I'll have the pattern and the how-to on my site, but the trim, this is a little bit wider than the normal trim because this particular fabric, I couldn't cut it right at 10 inches. But you usually do 10 inches on the trim. And then you have the little accent piece, and it's 3 inches. You can do 2-inch accent piece, but this is 3 inches. We've ironed it in half, and you're going to put it right along the fabric. We've got this right side up. Hey! We've got this right side up, and then you're going to put this fabric, and I should have brought a fabric that's more right and wrong side, but right side down on this one.
For people that heard the voice in the background there, we have the illustrious Tony Miles stepping into the vault here, is what we're calling it, and AJ Bank Studio. And she's going to be joining us here in a minute. But Susan, you got a few things going there.
Okay,
Tell
this
us.
is a 10-inch piece.
Yeah, tell me how many pieces do we actually need?
Just 3.
Okay.
The big piece is with the fabric, the regular fabric, 42 to 45 inch, and you get 3/4 of a yard of it. And then this piece here is 10 inches. Like I said, this is a little bit bigger because of where I had to cut it because of its pattern. But usually it's a 10-inch piece.
Oh, okay.
And at the very end, y'all see what it looks like. But I have all 4 steps already sewn for us.
Okay.
So we get to see it. And then your trim piece, and you can have this a white or a black or one of the colors that's in here.
Oh, just
whatever.
accent the actual. Okay.
And you're putting this right side together, and we will go, and we will, I'm not going to pin all of it, I'm just going to pin a little bit so we can see. And yeah, I'll try to talk a little bit louder so we can hear me while and we pin it along here a couple of places.
Like a temporary hold.
Temporary hold, and you'll see in a minute, it looks a little bit confusing, but like I say, I have the pattern and pictures. I'll have it available on the website or be picked up at the store. Or it is on millionpillowcasechallenge.com.
And you mentioned that website to me, millionpillowcasechallenge.com. You want to describe that while you're...
Okay, Million Pillowcase Challenge is, I think, about 6 years ago now. They decided that they were going to challenge the quilters to do 1 million pillowcases. And what it is each community reports to them how many pillowcases they have donated, but they donate to local charities. So last year, Hyder Hangout donated 110 pillowcases to the Safe Harbor House. So that's what that Million Pillowcase Challenge is about. So if you're in town here and you donate a pillowcase to somewhere, just call us and we'll report it to the big honchos at millionpillowcasechallenge.com. And next month there is a challenge to do some pillowcases, and then in September there's a 24-hour sew-in pillowcase sew-in. Okay. And I think that's September 14th. They just announced it like 2 days ago.
Is it like a lock-in at church, but it's a sew-in?
Yes. And we have them at our shop. And we stay there, and we have a little kitchenette, and we sew until we fall over or tell stupid jokes and we send somebody home. We actually have that once a month. We have a quilt till you wilt is what we call it.
That's funny.
I love that.
So we come in and we
Does it get crazy then at late night?
We have some stupid jokes sometimes, I tell you, and we're all laughing, and then we look at it and we say, that wasn't funny, but we've been known to stay till Sunday morning. So it starts about 4 on Saturday. Some people come in when the shop opens at 10, and then they just sew until they can't anymore, and they bring their own projects or work on Quilts of Valor or pillowcases or some of the other charities that we do.
Okay.
And we bring potluck, and we always end up okay with the food. Don't have too much. One time we did.
I think that's a Southern thing.
We had about 5 different kinds of beans, but most of the time we have enough.
Yeah.
Enough of everything.
A Southern thing. When you say potluck, it basically means cook food for 60 people.
Yes, it does.
Everybody cooks food for 60 people.
Everybody.
So yeah, we get boxes of everything. Okay, let's get back to
Yep.
the
Let's
pillowcase.
back to the project.
And this is just temporary pin here, and this looks funny, but you roll the big piece up.
Oh, wow.
And then you're going to take your trim, and this is wider, so it's a little bit easier, but if it was 10 inch, it'd be a little bit harder to roll it over. But you're going to roll this over here, and then you pin this a little bit better so that you have, so it don't slip. And like I said, this is one for somebody who can sew a relatively straight line on a sewing machine.
That's not me.
What I normally tell somebody
You
who's
can spend some time with Susan.
the kids
Yes.
the kids or whatever that are brand new, you're just gonna put your presser foot along this edge, and that'll give you a pretty straight line to sew. So we
You
have
just follow
this.
the edge.
We have this, and I will show you what we did.
So you've got your piece and you've pinned it to where
Pinned
you're
it,
ready
and
to
then
sew it.
We take it to the sewing machine, and we sew it along the edge. And what I did is I put the presser foot along the edge, and you see I'm not perfect here. I just zoomed it because I was trying to get all 4 pieces done before I taught a class last night. But see, you have this edge here, and you have sewed it all the way through all the layers. You have the 2 layers of the cuff, the 2 layers of the trim, and the 1 layer of the pillowcase part. So you have this thing here, and this is the magic part.
You call all 4 layers when you made your pass, when
And
you
then
had a pin.
turn it right side out.
Wow. This is like a magic show.
Yeah. And the neat thing about that is once you got it turned right side out, your cuff and your trim and your pillowcase, there's no raw edges.
Wow.
So they're all inside. So this is your pillowcase part, and of course all fabric is different widths. Some of the 42 to 45 inch is 42, and some of them is 45. So you'll have something like this where you have to just trim this to be even.
All right, say it one more time at the bottom
So-
there. So basically you're going to trim it to fit your pillow because you may have a...
Whichever is shortest.
Okay.
So the little trim might have been right here. We would trim all of it to do even with whichever piece is shortest.
Okay.
Because different manufacturers, different shrinkage, different.
And it may be an accent pillow too, something smaller.
Right,
So-
and yeah, you can do a smaller piece.
Uh-huh.
But this is a regular pillowcase. This is a twin size. If you want the bigger measurements, we've got those too. But this piece is the only thing that's cut different. Is the main piece. So we've got this. And I have the other piece, but what I'm going to show you is we're going to do a French seam. And everybody hears that and they say, oh no, French seam, that's for the courtiers and the ones that are doing the fancy sewing and stuff. But here this is, and pretend that's trimmed off. But we're putting it wrong side together.
Okay.
And then we will, once we got it wrong side together, and however much you need to pin it, some people don't pin it at all, and other people pin every 2 inches. Just depends on your skill level and your comfort level. So you have that, and by the magic of television, here we go.
So this is trimmed and sewed on the end. That was the step we
Right,
just...
yeah, wrong side together,
Okay.
and we have a little seam as you can do. If you're doing, if you have, I had a little bit of rough edge here, so I just did a little bit wider, but I probably would have gone a little bit closer. But this is how you do a French seam. Any clothing, whatever. If you're doing a French seam, you'll do your seams twice. So a French seam, wrong sides together first. And we did it all the way around. So we went all the way around to the end of the pillowcase. And we tried to match this here. Because if you slip a little bit, it'll be off when you turn it right side out. But if you match it good here, pin it good here, and pin it good here, then it'll match. So we've got that. And you turn this inside out. Now you have it right sides together now.
Right.
Okay? So this is the wrong side. And you'll have, by the magic of television, ta-da, we have now right sides together, because that's the right side of your pillowcase with your trim.
Mm-hmm.
We have now sewn bigger here. It's got to be big enough so that first seam that you have in there
Is inside the next seam?
inside that, but not sticking out through.
Okay, right.
And if you happen to get this a little bit short, you can just go back and make it a little bit bigger. If you, oops, I got some of it showing out. But that's right sides together here.
Mhm.
You sew it all
So you went all the way around again. So you're encapsulating that first seam.
Right. And that's a French seam. Easy peasy. You
Can
think
you
hear a
use-
French seam, you look at them enclosed, you think, oh, that's got to be difficult. Do you have to fold it twice and then stitch it or whatever?
Do you have to
That's-
use a French sewing machine if you want to do that?
I don't even know if they make a French. I know
They
make
have to.
German
If someone
and
invented this French
Swedish.
seam.
Oh, I'm sure. There's a French one.
And you turn it right side out and you're done.
Okay, we got you on the wide camera there. Why don't you hold that up there?
So we are done.
There you
Actually,
have
I
your.
enough for 4 here because I've cut them all out, but,
So you also have a set of pillowcases you'll be selling in the shop later this week once you finish them.
well, actually, the pillowcases all go to charity.
Okay. We have a local charity here in town, I think, that benefits from.
The
Cha-
Karen place.
I
would
know.
love to
I think
have
I've heard of a
those.
place here in town.
Yeah.
Because we give out linens.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and we've collected linens, and we actually have some now I need to go through and make sure that they're okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
We have received from you, darling.
oh, I know, but we still, I've got a bunch right now, and I'm trying to get somebody to say, hey, look, just go through these, and,
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thanks, Susan.
So I don't know if that's complicated or not, but.
I think it's complicated if you don't know the first thing about sewing, which would be me. But if you're just getting into it, I think a lot of that is pretty easy to understand. And you do need a decent machine so you can make those
Well, you
stitches.
can do a straight stitch if you've got a machine that can do straight stitch. So you don't have to have a zigzag stitch. You could, I've got a friend that does everything by hand, she could do this, because she
Oh, I'm sure.
sits and watches TV or watches videos, and she sews everything by hand, all her quilts, everything. So she, all it is a straight stitch.
Well,
I'm not talented like that.
yes, you are.
I
Just maybe
guarantee
not in
if
that
you guys
yet.
came in the
A little bit of
shop-
practice, right?
If you guys both came in the shop, I could put you down to a machine and teach you how, and you could make a pillowcase. Guarantee it.
Well, before we go here, couple things. Let's remind everybody where you're at, and let's talk about the two websites real quick. The two charities that you're involved with. I know you said you had the
Well,
Quilt
actually,
Till You
there's a little
Wilt.
bit more than two, but.
Okay, we'll just
the-
mention those two to recap those, and we'll get into the other ones on your next segment, so people
Okay.
can hear those names.
The Safe Harbor House,
Okay.
and we do baby quilts or small quilts and pillowcases.
Mm-hmm.
And we make sure that everybody knows that we need to do teen-themed pillowcases, adults, children, because Safe Harbor House is where the abused women go and hide, and I myself don't even know where it's at. And they try to keep the location of it secret.
Yes, a secret. Yes,
So
ma'am.
that they can't get, the abusers to come and look them up. But the girl that works with them has told me, year before last, I know they had 276 people that they served, which includes moms and kids. And so we try to do even teenage pillowcases because they need something to feel like they're a little bit special because, it's.
May I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Are you guys praying over those pillowcases?
I'm sure a lot of us are. We don't have a formal prayer when we do the
No, it doesn't have to
pillowcases.
be formal, but I'm telling you, when we have experienced when you pray over those pillowcases, and especially joy and peace and love, and we have had reports when these families get these pillowcases, their dreams turn from nightmares to dreams of joy, dreams of peace.
Well,
And so I just would
wow.
encourage you.
That sounds good. I mean, we actually say that Hyder Hangout is dedicated to God, and it is
Yes,
God's
I know
shop.
you do.
And I hadn't thought of specifically praying for the quilts and the pillowcases, but I think we can do that. That's a
Think you
good
can do
idea.
It is cool.
Yes.
Because we have a couple
And-
of group. We have one group that does a whole bunch of charity stuff.
Yes.
They've done quilts to go up to Appalachia, and then there's another group that they work with the Bags of Love
Yes.
at the Adventist Church, and then of course the Safe Harbor House.
Okay,
So
and then you
that's
mentioned another segment, and then again today, the one where you have the quilts of
Quilts of Valor.
Quilts of Valor. I want to say honor, but
Oh, that's a
the
big one, and
yeah.
I think we may become. I think we're going to may become a chapter, I guess you call them, at Hyder Hangout. Quilts of Valor, and I had the most tearful, wonderful experience with this. They are given to veterans
Yes.
who have been in harm's way. So if they've been in active duty
Sure.
in Vietnam or Iraq, and my son was in Iraq. So we at the shop decided to get together, and all of us that knew him, each of them made a block, and we put it together, made a quilt, and we got him there under different auspices. I told him I needed him to look at something in the shop, and he lives over in LJ, and he is a contractor. And he almost didn't come, but his girlfriend said, "Well, Mom really needs you to look at this thing." And he showed up, and there's a whole bunch of women in there in the classroom. And I said, "I'll be with you in a minute, but we got something we got to do first." So the girl that is from the chapter up in Athens area came down, and she started talking about Quilts of Valor and what the program was. And my son had not ever heard of it before. And then she said, "And this is a quilt you guys made," and hold the quilt up. And I got up and I said, "Well, this quilt is for you, Aaron." And I'm getting teary-eyed now.
That's all right.
And he was flabbergasted, and he gets up, and what they do is they put the quilt around them and say, "This is our love, and this is hugs for you." And he started crying, and I started crying, and half the women in the room started crying. And we thanked him for it. I mean, he was a medic in Iraq, and he's a little bit messed up with it, but
He's seen some things.
he's seen some things that I would have wished that my son didn't have to. But
Sure.
he did a wonderful service, took care of a lot of people,
Amen.
and anybody that wants to come, we've got 6 quilts in progress right now.
Awesome. And they can pitch in,
they can
and
just come in anytime they have 5-10 minutes and work on them.
or they can come to the quilt till you wilt,
Wilt.
and
Yes. And I believe the first Saturday in March is the second, but I'm not absolutely positive. But
and get crazy with Susan and her buddies.
yeah, we do. And we actually have a couple times that some men have shown up with the Quilts of Valor. You do not have to sew because there's cutting apart stuff, cutting stuff, ironing. So, or encouraging everybody, maybe come sing, bring your guitar and sing to the rest of us or
Yeah.
something. But, so you do not have to know how to sew to work on the Quilts of Valor. And we can teach you how to sew.
Sure. And a lot of that is the straight sewing, like you mentioned, because you're putting.
It's all straight
Sure.
seam.
Well,
Wilt till you wilt, is that a first Saturday of the month?
First Saturday of every
That's
month.
That is March 4th.
March 4th,
I
okay.
wanted to look that date up for you.
Okay, March 4th.
so Susan Hyder with Hyder Hangout, located downtown Cleveland on First Street Square, which is on First Street, if you didn't put that together. And it's not a square, though, by the way. It's kind of a triangle,
Well, it's close
parallelogram.
enough.
I'm not saying even parallel, but anyways, it's right there by the Colonel Benjamin Cleveland statue in the little square where the Catch Seafood is there, CBC, the museum's right across the street over there. So if you're here nearby the museum, you can almost see her place from the museum's front drive if you're looking for it. Also catch her online. What's your web address?
HyderHangout.com.
And then I'm sure you're on Facebook.
Facebook, yep.
So if you got questions about anything she's talked about today, you want to learn a couple tips or a few of the next steps, just let us know. And we will, if you let us know here at the station, we'll get you the information to talk with Susan. And you can find her, like we mentioned, online and then at her location downtown. We're going to take another quick break here, and we've had another guest join us. As you've heard, we got Tony Miles in the studio, and Jay told me she was coming, but he didn't tell me why. So it's kind of a surprise to me. I'm looking forward to finding out. So,
Okay.
all right, we'll be back in just a minute.
I texted back last night.
Well, he didn't tell me though, so maybe it's on purpose. We'll be back in a minute.
Quilts and the art of quilting have been enjoyed for generations. Hyder Hangout, Quilt Fabric and More in downtown Cleveland is all things quilts and much more. Hyder Hangout stocks a vast selection of beautiful fabrics from upholstery to evening wear and will special order hard-to-find items. Find all the accessories to make any project fun and easy. Hyder Hangout offers expert instruction with classes for the beginner and the advanced. Ready to show your style? Get to Hyder Hangout, Quilt Fabric and More, 219 First Street Northeast, downtown Cleveland.